Welcome to the journey to explore the fascinating world of the sea. In today's video, we will follow talented fishermen through big waves to make challenging and exciting fishing trips. From exploiting precious moray eels, fishing giant stingrays with long lines to catching hundreds of tons of fish with giant nets on the sea. Let's admire the hard work, the resilience of fishermen and the great values that the seafood industry brings. Let's get started. Moray eel, a long eel-like fish, lives mainly in deep, cold, resource-rich seas, with high nutritional content, soft meat, and unique flavor. Moray eel is considered a valuable seafood. This is not only a high-class food source but also an export item that brings great economic value to countries with developed fishing industries, especially those in Alaska and the North Atlantic. Moray eel usually lives at depths of 500 to 1.50 meters, where the temperature is low and light is limited. Because of this special living environment, the exploitation of moray eel requires modern technology and fishing techniques. On each trip, from preparation, catching to direct processing on board, all are a series of challenging activities, at the same time demonstrating the coordination between humans and technology. Moray eel fishing vessels are usually large vessels, equipped with modern radar, sonar and GPS systems. These tools help fishermen accurately determine where moray eel schools are concentrated. In addition, the vessels are also equipped with a long line system with thousands of hooks attached with specialized bait, ensuring the highest fishing efficiency. The bait is usually small fish or fresh squid, carefully prepared to attract moray eels. In addition, the cold storage system and fish storage compartment are carefully checked, ensuring the quality of the fish is maintained after catching. When the vessel reaches an area with signs of moray eels, fishermen use sonar to detect the eels on the seabed. Then, a long line system is lowered with thousands of hooks sunk at different depths. The hooks are evenly spaced to optimize the ability to catch moray eels. After a few hours, fishermen begin to collect the fishing lines. This is a stage that requires patience and technique, as each moray eel pulled up needs to be processed immediately. Modern machinery supports gentle pulling of the fishing line, minimizing the risk of damaging the eel. As soon as the moray eel is brought onto the deck, the team of workers will quickly proceed with the preliminary processing. The eels are classified based on size and quality to serve different purposes, from domestic consumption to export. The process of cutting moray eels requires meticulousness. For eels that meet the standards, fishermen use specialized knives to cut off the head and remove the internal organs. After that, the eel body is washed with treated seawater, helping to retain its natural freshness. After being cleaned, the moray eels will be put into a vacuum packaging system to maintain freshness. Some eels will be frozen on board, while others are processed into fillets or cut into small pieces to serve the market. The deep sea is always full of unpredictable risks. From big waves to strong winds, fishermen have to work in cold environments, often facing the risk of being unsafe. Fishing for moray eels requires strict regulations on the conservation of aquatic resources. Fishermen must ensure that they do not overexploit and take measures to minimize the impact on the marine ecosystem. Moray eels bring a significant income to fishermen and contribute to the promotion of the local economy. Large export markets, especially in countries such as Japan, Korea and Europe, make the moray eel fishing industry an important part of the global seafood supply chain. Moray eel meat is processed into many high-class dishes such as sashimi, charcoal grilling, or stewed in soups. These dishes not only enrich the cuisine but also promote the value of seafood caught from the deep sea. The journey of catching and processing moray eels is not only a job but also a source of pride for fishermen. Through their tireless efforts, they not only bring back valuable products from the ocean but also contribute to the protection and sustainable development of marine resources. Today's video hopes to help you better understand the hardships and values of the moray eel fishing industry. Thank you for watching. After finishing the moray eel fishing scene, the video continues to take the audience on a new and exciting journey, catching giant stingrays with long lines. This is a job that not only requires high techniques but also requires perseverance. Team spirit and love of the job of the fisherman. Stingrays are one of the largest fish species living in the world's seas, with fin spans that can be up to several meters wide and weights up to hundreds of kilograms. Stingrays not only bring high economic value but are also a source of inspiration for those who love the ocean. Stingrays often live in deep waters, where sunlight cannot reach. They move slowly and feed by rummaging on the seabed, looking for small animals such as shrimp, crabs, and small fish. Because of their living habits and large size, catching stingrays requires careful preparation and the use of modern equipment. Fishermen often rely on experience and sonar data to identify areas where stingrays congregate. Deep sea areas with nutrient-rich water and flat or sandy seabeds are often ideal places for stingrays to live. Long lines are the main tool for catching stingrays. This system consists of a main line stretching for kilometers, on which hundreds of hooks equipped with weights are attached to keep the line deep. Each hook is attached to fresh bait such as small fish or squid. To attract stingrays, stingray fishing boats are equipped with modern systems such as hydraulic cranes, line winches, and large storage tanks to handle the giant fish. In addition, cold storage systems are also important to keep the fish fresh before being brought back to port or processed on board. Once the boat reaches the identified area, the fishermen begin to lower the long lines to the seabed. Each line is slowly released, ensuring that the bait is at the ideal depth to attract the stingray. This process requires a high level of concentration to ensure that the line does not tangle or lose the bait. After releasing the line, the fisherman will wait from several hours to half a day for the stingray to bite. During this time, they regularly check the positioning equipment and observe the signals from the fishing line to detect underwater activity. When a stingray bites, the signal from the fishing line will show a strong tug. At this point, the fishing team begins to reel in the line. Pulling up a giant stingray is not easy, requiring the support of a line puller and a hydraulic crane. Once the stingray is brought onto the deck, the fishermen quickly secure it with ropes to ensure the safety of both people and the fish. Large stingrays are often very strong, and handling them requires technique and coordination from the whole team. Once the stingray is loaded onto the boat, the processing begins immediately. First, fishermen use specialized equipment to cut off the venomous spines, usually located on the tail or fins of the stingray. This part is very dangerous if not handled properly, as the stingray spines contain venom that can be painful or even life-threatening. The giant stingray is cut into large pieces for easy handling. The fins, body, and wings of the stingray are separated. The stingray meat has a firm, soft texture, and is very nutritious, making it an ideal ingredient for many high-end dishes. After cutting, the stingray meat is washed with treated seawater. This process helps remove all impurities and retain the freshness of the fish. Next, the fish is vacuum-packed or frozen on board to ensure quality. Parts such as the skin, cartilage, and internal organs of the stingray are also carefully processed for use or recycling. Stingray skin, for example, is a valuable raw material for handicrafts, while fish cartilage has high nutritional value and is often used in the medical or food processing industries. Giant rays, weighing up to hundreds of kilograms, are a major challenge to handle on board. From hauling them onto deck to cutting and processing, each stage requires strength, dexterity and modern support equipment. As with other deep-sea fishing activities, harsh weather conditions at sea are also a major obstacle. Large waves, strong winds and low temperatures can disrupt work and affect the safety of fishermen. Stingrays are a strictly managed species in conservation policies. Fishermen must comply with regulations on size, quantity and fishing areas to ensure the sustainability of this species. Stingrays bring a large source of income to fishermen and the seafood industry. Stingray meat is not only widely consumed domestically but also exported to major markets such as Japan, Korea and Europe. Stingrays are an important ingredient in many traditional and modern dishes. From fresh stingray sashimi to grilled, stewed or fried dishes, stingrays are always a favorite choice of food lovers. The journey of catching and processing giant stingrays is not only a simple labor job but also a symbol of human resilience and intelligence in conquering the ocean. Stingrays brought up from the deep ocean not only bring great economic value but also demonstrate love and responsibility for marine resources. The video After the captivating footage of the stingray fishing and processing journey, The vast ocean scene opens up before the audience's eyes. The white-capped waves follow each other like an invitation for the fishermen to take on a new challenge. This time, we will follow the process of catching hundreds of tons of fish with large nets, a large-scale fishing technique that brings impressive yields but is also very hard work. Fishing boats specially designed for using large nets are often huge, hundreds of meters long. The boats are equipped with modern net pulling systems, fish school detection radars, and large storage compartments, enough to hold hundreds of tons of fish. On board, the fishermen work tirelessly, from preparing the nets, operating the machines, to handling the fish when harvesting. This is not only a job that requires physical strength but also requires close teamwork. Fishing with large nets requires fishermen to accurately determine the location of large schools of fish. With the help of sonar and radar, they can detect masses of fish moving underwater. Commonly targeted species include anchovies, mackerel, herring, and many other commercial fish. Large nets are cast from the stern of the vessel, stretching out into the sea for miles. The nets are typically made up of two parts. The upper part, floating on the surface of the water thanks to buoys. The lower part, heavier, held submerged by lead weights or special lead lines. As the nets are cast, the fishing team must closely monitor them to ensure they do not get tangled or get caught on underwater obstacles. Once the nets are cast and the school of fish is surrounded, the fishermen begin to pull the nets onto the vessel. This is when the work is the hardest and most dangerous in the entire process. Hydraulic net haulers are used to slowly pull the nets, bringing tons of fish from the water onto the deck. This process requires strict control, as even a small mistake can cause the net to tear or lose a large part of the catch. When the net is pulled up, the sight of hundreds of tons of fish splashing on the deck is a feast for the eyes. The silver fish sparkle under the sunlight. Creating a scene that is both majestic and bustling. As soon as the fish are brought up, the fishermen begin to sort them by size and type. Larger and more valuable fish are processed separately, while smaller fish are taken straight to the storage compartment. The fish are pre-cleaned using a high-pressure water jet system right on the deck. They are then transferred to the freezer or ice compartment to maintain their freshness. While one group processes the fish, the other group quickly checks and repairs the nets in preparation for the next catch. This is a job that requires carefulness, as any damage can greatly affect the productivity of the trip. The sea is full of unexpected surprises. Big waves, strong winds, and storms are challenges that fishermen face every day. With a catch of hundreds of tons, processing and preserving fish in a short period of time requires continuous, non-stop work. Fishermen often have to work around the clock to ensure that no fish is wasted. Large net fishing can be harmful to marine ecosystems. Therefore, fishermen need to comply with strict regulations on net size, fishing areas, and types of fish allowed to be caught. Large net fishing brings significant economic benefits, not only to fishermen but also to the seafood industry. Fish are brought to port to be processed into many products such as frozen fish, canned fish, and traditional dishes. Fishing provides employment opportunities for thousands of people, from fishermen, processing workers, to transportation and distribution staff. With large output, fish are exported to many markets around the world, from Asia to Europe, meeting the increasing consumption needs of consumers. Fishing with large nets is not only a traditional profession but also an indispensable part of the modern seafood industry. Images of fishermen working hard, overcoming all difficulties to bring home full catches of fish, not only demonstrate the spirit of persistent work but also demonstrate the attachment between people and the sea. One of the important factors contributing to the success of each fishing trip is the smooth coordination between fishermen on board. Each person takes on a specific task, from operating the equipment, dropping the net, pulling the fish, to processing and preserving the products. Captain, the overall leader, using the positioning system and sonar to locate the fish. At the same time, the captain also makes important decisions during the fishing process, especially when encountering bad weather conditions. Netting team, responsible for dropping and controlling the net. They must ensure that the net is dropped properly, not tangled or stuck on the seabed. Netting team works with the machine system to pull the net onto the ship. This is a job that requires precise coordination, because just a small mistake can cause the net to tear or the fish to be lost. Fish processing team, as soon as the fish are brought on board. This team will quickly sort, clean, and preserve the fish. Their speed and skill determine the quality of the product. During the journey at sea, fishermen work continuously, often in shifts, to ensure that every step is carried out on schedule. Working days last from early morning until late at night, with only short breaks to recharge. With hundreds of tons of fish caught every day, preservation is an indispensable step to ensure product quality before reaching port. Large-scale fishing vessels are often equipped with modern cold storage. Immediately after the fish are cleaned, they are taken directly to the storage compartment at low temperatures, usually from -18 degrees Celsius to -25 degrees Celsius. To maintain freshness, some high value fish are vacuum packed on board to prevent dehydration and keep them fresh longer. This is especially important for vessels that have to operate for long periods at sea. For fish that do not require immediate freezing, fishermen use ice to directly freeze them. This method helps preserve fish in a short time and saves more energy. Unstable weather, fishing trips often face big storms or conditions of big waves and strong winds. This is not only dangerous but also affects work progress. Technical problems, modern equipment such as trawlers, radars, and cold storage can malfunction, requiring crews to deal with them at sea. Competition in the industry, with the development of the global seafood industry. Fishermen have to compete fiercely to maintain production and product quality. Investing in technology, upgrading fishing vessels and equipment helps increase efficiency and reduce risks during work. Skills training, fishermen are well trained to handle all situations, from severe weather conditions to technical problems. International cooperation, fishermen and seafood businesses often cooperate with international organizations to share experiences and apply new standards in sustainable fishing. In the context of increasingly scarce marine resources, large-scale fishing vessels must strictly comply with international regulations on protecting marine ecosystems. Each country has specific quotas on the quantity and species of fish that can be caught. This helps ensure that resources are not overexploited and have time to recover. Modern large nets are designed to minimize the chance of catching unwanted species, especially rare or endangered species. Fishermen and fishing companies often cooperate with conservation organizations to research and apply sustainable solutions, such as protecting coral reefs and maintaining the balance of marine ecosystems. Despite many difficulties, large net fishing still brings proud achievements. Large yield, each trip can bring in hundreds of tons of fish. Providing food for millions of people. Economic development, fishing not only creates jobs for fishermen but also promotes related industries such as processing, transporting, and exporting seafood. Community bonding, the life of fishermen on the boat is not only about working but also about bonding and supporting each other. Creating unique cultural values. The journey of catching hundreds of tons of fish with large nets is a testament to the courage, resilience and ingenuity of those working at sea, from facing difficulties on the ocean to bringing back full catches of fish. Each trip is a story about human strength and the richness of nature. Thank you for joining us through these wonderful footages. Please continue to follow and discover more interesting stories about life at sea in the next videos.